players. There's an invisible empire of algorithms and encrypted networks moving billions in the shadows.
That's such an intriguing way to look at it. The contrast between street-level operations and these hidden digital empires is mind-blowing.
Well, what really fascinates me is how this book frames modern power through technology. We're talking about someone controlling markets through encrypted channels and moving wealth that dwarfs traditional operations by hundreds of times.
You know what's particularly striking about that? The way it describes these back-end operations, global e-commerce networks, crypto exchanges, advertising platforms, all operating beyond what most people can even see.
And when you consider the numbers involved, it's staggering. Like how a single digital transaction through these networks can be worth 50 or even 100 times more than traditional street-level operations.
That really puts it in perspective. So how does someone even begin to operate at that scale?
Well, that's where the author's background in both street-level operations and digital infrastructure really shines through. They explain how understanding these invisible systems from affiliate marketing networks to decentralized finance is the new foundation of power.
The way they break down these various platforms and systems really shows how complex this new landscape is.
And what's really interesting is how the author uses this street-level vernacular to explain incredibly sophisticated concepts about digital infrastructure and global finance. It makes these complex ideas accessible while maintaining authenticity.
That stylistic choice definitely serves the content well. It's like watching someone pull back the curtain on two worlds simultaneously.
You know what particularly struck me? The psychological aspects, how it contrasts those who need to display their power versus those who deliberately stay hidden. It's almost like a study in modern power dynamics.
Right, and it completely challenges our social media-driven understanding of success and influence.
Exactly. And when you look at how they describe these various digital platforms, from SaaS companies generating recurring revenue to advertising networks managing billions in spend, you start to see how these invisible systems are all interconnected.
Speaking of interconnected systems, what about the author's take on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology?
Oh, that's such a crucial point. They frame crypto not just as a currency, but as this entirely new infrastructure for moving and generating wealth. They describe how someone operating in these spaces can leverage decentralized finance to build wealth in ways that traditional systems can't touch.
The metaphor about batteries and power sources really drives that point home, how what we see might just be the visible end of a much larger hidden system.
And let's talk about how this relates to current trends, like how major tech companies are increasingly moving into financial services, or how decentralized autonomous organizations are reshaping traditional business structures.
Well, that's fascinating. It's almost like these invisible systems are becoming the new infrastructure of power.
And what I find particularly compelling is how the author suggests this isn't static, it's constantly evolving with technology. Today it might be cryptocurrency and e-commerce, but tomorrow it could be something entirely different.
That really speaks to the importance of adaptability and staying ahead of technological curves.
Looking toward the future, this book really makes you think about how power structures will continue to evolve as technology advances. Will we see even more sophisticated forms of invisible influence emerge?
And that's probably the most important takeaway, the need to understand these hidden systems that increasingly shape our world.
What's good, y'all? It's y'all nigga Madhatan Smith. Let's go ahead and dive into this shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and make it, jazz it up a little bit, you know, who I'm talking about, last night was, definitely, a new introduction, different spin, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking in hint code, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's go ahead and, converse, connect, wink your eye, make some bread, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's go ahead and get your, those books out there. Let's go ahead, get you back out there on that, that YT, that YouTube channel shit, I'm saying, really, show you what's going on. But, I'm gonna call you D. You know what D stand for. Know what I'm saying? That's a hint. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive in real quick. I ain't gonna hold you too long. Your time very valuable and very important. I know others don't really appreciate it. But that intro, that's not something that I, generated. That's actually what they saying about me. Madhatan Smith, adored son. Know what I'm saying? Little wee man son. But, it's a lot of shit that goes on in the shadows. Know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and jump into this shit.
Book name Silent Power. Author Madhatan Smith. Aight World, tune in. You vibin' with Madhatan Smith? That ain't no accident. You recognize the frequency, the realness that cuts through the noise. Good. You got taste. Now let's elevate this whole damn thing. See, the surface is just the ripple. The real wave, it's building. My digital domain. You want to find where the real energy's at? Where the exclusive drops land? Search Madhatan Smith on Amazon. Consider that my private penthouse. You're invited. Connect the code. This ain't a one-way street. Hit me on IG, FB, YouTube, Madhatan Smith. Slide in the DMs. Real recognize real. Let's build. Creators with fire. You got a story burning inside? A voice the world needs to hear? I ain't just talking, I'm amplifying. Ebooks, audio, the whole sonic and visual experience. Let's make that fire undeniable. Invest in the future. Bitcoin ain't just a buzzword, it's the new currency of power. And for those who move with foresight, the door's open. Hit that line 972-891-0937. Text first. Respect the code. Look around. This ain't about chasing pennies. It's about architecting empires. I'm building a legacy, and I'm looking for those with the vision to ride alongside. This ain't no manufactured hype. This is authentic energy, raw creation. You got that story? That vision? Let's birth it. Creation and full publishing, that's a serious investment. 6 Bitcoin, or if you move in old school, $89K face-to-face, cash speaks volumes. This ain't a request. It's an invitation to step into a different dimension. Let's make moves that echo. Let's generate wealth that resonates. The world's about to wake up. You feel that shift? That's us. Aye, ladies, listen up. When I drop something real, something that hits you right in your soul, something you know is the absolute truth, I want you to say it back to me. Let me hear it. You feel that undeniable knowing deep inside? You recognize the genuine article? Then let me hear you loud and clear. What is it? That's right. Fact. You feel that resonance? That's the frequency we're on. Stay tuned. There's plenty more truth coming. My queens. When my voice whispers truths that settle deep within you. Truths that make your skin tingle with recognition. I want to hear your affirmation. A soft murmur, a knowing sigh, a single word that confirms the undeniable. You feel that resonance, that deep chord struck within your very being? You recognize the genuine article, the unvarnished reality. Then let your lips part, just so, and tell me what it is. Yes, fact. That's the sound of a woman who knows. A woman who feels the truth in her bones. Stay close. The night is young, and there are many more truths I want to share with you. Description. Forget the noise, the flash, the dime store hustlers screaming, plug. This ain't that story. Shadow Source peels back the layers of illusion, exposing the raw, undeniable truth about where real power resides.
That's getting real.
Madhatan Smith, a master of the unseen game, drops you into a world where influence whispers and wealth multiplies in the digital shadows.
Yeah.
Prepare to have your perceptions shattered, your desires ignited, as you navigate the intoxicating landscape of true control.
Yeah.
This isn't just about money. It's about the seductive allure of a mind that operates on a higher plane, a charisma that penetrates deeper than any touch.
Yeah.
It's about the awakening to a hunger you never knew you had,
Oh, you got
a
it.
craving for the silent dominance of the real source. Point. Benefits of the book. Shatters the illusion. Destroys naive understanding of who the true power players are, revealing the puppet masters behind the flashy dealers. Unveils the unseen. Provides a roadmap to understanding the hidden architectures of wealth and influence in the digital age. Ignites a deeper awareness. Awakens a primal recognition of the seductive power held by those who operate in the shadows. Elevates desire. Connects the allure of true control with a potent, undeniable sensuality. Empowers recognition. Equips the reader to discern the genuine article from the pretenders in all aspects of life and attraction. Start of book message. Baby girl, you ever feel that pull? Not the obvious shove, the desperate plea for attention. I'm talking that quiet hum beneath the surface, the knowing glance that speaks volumes when the world hears nothing. You see the bright lights, the loud boasts, the ones throwing around their little trinkets, thinking that's the top. Bless their hearts. They're the batteries, honey. Disposable. What you're sensing right now, that's the current from the real source. It's the weight of unspoken power, the thrill of knowing you're in the orbit of a mind that moves markets with a whisper.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's really, you know, jumping, diving, you know what I'm saying, to who I am as, you know, Door's son. You know what I'm saying? Those that know me, you know, those that don't know me, how you doing? You know, I'm one of the flyest niggas you ever met in your life when it come down to this, you know, e-commerce business, ebook business, digital terrain, you know what I'm saying? You're about to experience something that you never felt before, you know. All this written by me, it ain't none of that cheap low-down watermark shit from ChatGPT. You know, this that raw, 100%. Everything into every word paid attention to with full precision and detail. You know, let's go ahead and keep on going. Go ahead and jump back in there, my man, and keep looking up for it.
Shiver down your spine? That ain't fear. That's recognition. You're finally tuning into the right frequency. And trust me, the signal here, it's intoxicating. Book. Chapter 1. The Ghost in the Machine. The streets you think you know? Child's play. Madhatan Smith navigates a different kind of terrain. A digital landscape where fortunes are made and empires built with lines of code and encrypted whispers. Forget the hand-to-hand, the petty squabbles over ounces. We're talking about controlling the flow, the unseen arteries of the global market. You see a flashy Instagram account? I see the network of affiliate sites generating silent revenue streams. You see a corner boy with a stack of cash? I see the decentralized finance portfolio multiplying in the shadows of the blockchain. Sire, it's about understanding the back ends, the intricate systems that fuel the modern world. Think about the e-commerce giants, the platforms that connect buyers and sellers across continents. Imagine the level of control in orchestrating even a fraction of that flow.
You know what I'm saying? You know, when it come down to, you know, that wink your eye money, you know, that feel more better, baby. You know what I'm saying? You when I say, CPM world, you know what I'm saying, that's high touch, that's a real digital, about to be turned into a currency, but it's a digital, not just a product, but it's a digital entity. We ain't talking about that, little surface level here. He going out shit. We really out here, we really moving. You know what I'm saying? So, how can I put this real quick? We gonna put this in a way that, it open your mind up. Because, a lot of females, they always, they speak that, I want a real nigga, I want a plug, baby. For some time I've been, on this probation shit. So, I couldn't really just, put myself front and center. You know what I'm saying? But, this shit over with now. And, I'm about to get them and everybody what they've been waiting for. And, back home, my little sister Kaya, she vouched for me. Never underestimate a builder. Never underestimate a giant. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Raheem, you know what I'm saying? That nigga is really that nigga. That's why I invest with my nigga so much. And I'm gonna back him. I love you, sis. But yo, let's dive back into this shit real quick. Hey, my eyes been on deep for a second, but niggas be having insecurity, so I can't really I can't really move like that. You know what I'm saying? But let's break a few laws, baby, and really get some bread together. Soaking some game real quick.
That's the game we're playing. The cryptocurrency exchanges where billions in digital assets change hands with the click of a mouse. The SaaS companies, providing the very tools that businesses rely on, generating recurring revenue that dwarfs local economies. The digital advertising networks, channeling the flow of marketing dollars, shaping desires on a global scale. These are the new power centers, the digital boudoirs where the real seduction takes place. It's not about the fleeting touch of a hand. It's about the lingering imprint of a powerful mind. You might scroll past a seemingly innocuous website, unaware that its very existence is a tendril of a vast, unseen network. You might use a common software, oblivious to the architect who quietly profits from its every click. And that's the allure, isn't it? The knowledge that there's a world operating just beneath the surface. A realm of influence that the masses remain blissfully ignorant of. It's the thrill of knowing that while they see one reality, you're privy to another. A deeper, more potent truth. It's the quiet confidence of a man who doesn't need to prove his power. It simply is. A palpable force that resonates in the very air around him. That tingle you feel, that's the signal. Are you ready to decode it? Madhatan Smith's visual narrative screams of hidden power dynamics. These colors, they represent your dealer. A stark warning that surfaces are deceptive. The vibrant hues mask a deeper game, where the real plug operates in the shadows. Don't be fooled by the flashy presentation. The true source, the one pulling the strings, remains unseen. See past the surface isn't just a suggestion, it's a command. The hidden hands signify unseen influence, a real power that manipulates from behind the curtain. The text, baby girl, the source isn't always who you see. The silent source highlights the art of misdirection. What is presented as the origin might just be another pawn. Forget the gentle caress, the predictable rhythm. This is about a seismic awakening, a raw jolt to your very core that bypasses the surface and strikes deep within. You thought you were awake? You were dreaming in grayscale. Madhatan Smith deals in pure, unfiltered sensation. A voltage that makes your nerve endings scream in exquisite awareness. He doesn't need to touch your skin to make you slick and heavy.
Come here, baby. Come play.
His influence is a current that floods your senses, a phantom pressure between your thighs, a ghost of a tongue tracing your most secret landscapes. It starts as a tremor in your intuition, a knowing that transcends logic. You feel the pull, the undeniable magnetism of a mind that operates on a level you instinctively crave. Your heart pounds not with simple attraction, but with the primal recognition of a dominant force.
You know, it's just the inner. You know what I'm saying? You said, don't call me game. Call me queen. I'm a queen. Okay? So, I'm gonna talk to you like you know. And keep in mind, you know, when you hear this, you know, soak it in, immerse it into your spirit, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna, you know, unwrap the gifts right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you unwrap your gifts real quick. Soak this in real quick. But you know, that's just another hint.
A silent predator who sees you, truly sees you, beyond the polite facades. Your spirit stirs with a longing you can't name, a yearning to be known, understood, and possessed by a power that doesn't need to shout to command. And then, the low-key fuck. It's in the stolen glances across a crowded room, the unspoken understanding in a brief exchange, the shared knowledge of a world that remains invisible to the masses. It's the weight of his unspoken authority, the subtle flex of his unseen influence that makes your core clench and release in anticipation. It's the awareness that while the world sees polite conversation, you feel the deliberate probing of his
You amazing too, baby. You amazing too. Real quick. Honestly, that's why I'm gonna go ahead and, lace you real quick. You know what I'm saying? All I ask, listen open. You soak this in. That's it. You don't even gotta take your clothes off. Just soak this in. I need it.
intellect, the strategic mapping of your desires. It's the thrill of knowing he sees past your defenses, directly into the wild, untamed core of your being. It's the delicious vulnerability of knowing you're being mentally undressed, your deepest fantasies brought to the surface by the sheer force of his knowing gaze. This isn't about clumsy groping or empty promises. This is about a connection that ignites your mind and floods your body with a craving so intense it borders on ache. It's the exquisite torture of knowing he's there, a silent presence that permeates your thoughts, leaving you slick with a desire that demands release. You play with yourself, not out of simple lust, but as a direct response to the phantom touch of his intellect, the undeniable pressure of his unseen command. You are soaked, utterly consumed by a longing that only the true alpha, the silent controller, can ignite. And in that exquisite torment, you find a pleasure so profound, it shatters the boundaries of the physical. This is the awakening. This is the real game. And you, thoroughbred, you understand the rules without them ever being spoken. Yo, listen up. They try to keep you in the dark, thinking the dude handing you the goods is the top of the food chain. They want you looking right there at that transaction, that exchange. But that's a rookie mistake. That's seeing the battery, but not the whole damn device. Think about it. You hit up your guy, right? He's got the product, the connect, supposedly. He's the one putting it in your hand. You think he's the source, the main vein. But peep this. The real plug operates in the shadows. That ain't just a cool line on a graphic. That's the truth. Uncut. Your dude, he's got a battery in his back. Someone's pumping power into him, feeding him the supply. He's a link in the chain, a necessary piece, but he ain't the generator. He's moving product, taking his cut, dealing with the street-level heat. But the real play, it's happening way above his pay grade. Don't look at the dealer, find the cut. That's the key to understanding the real flow. The cut ain't just the profit your guy's making. The cut is the whole damn operation, the levels of distribution, the unseen hands that are slicing off their share way before it even reaches your corner. The Bible talks about messages from God, right? 1 John 4, 1 warns, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world." In this game, the message they sell you is that your dealer is the connect. But you gotta test that spirit, see if it rings true. Your guy might front like he's the boss, the one calling the shots. But look closer. Who's supplying him? Who's setting the price? Who's got the real infrastructure? He's got a battery because someone else is holding the charger.
When I wrote that part, my bad, I'm eating real quick. But when I wrote that part, you know what I'm saying, it was, truth. I don't even know you that wrote a lot to you, so I would never start doing it. And we're gonna start, fresh use. But, we gonna converse, on any level, physical, mental, emotional, business. I ain't putting a title on nothing, And I don't want you to put a title on nothing either. You like shadow players. I'm there 100% master at the team. And you seem like a shadow too. Let's make this shadow work game work.
And Madhatan Smith, he understands this. He's getting more, moving in silence, showing less. He ain't the dude on the corner with his hand out. He's the one orchestrating the whole damn supply line, the one with the real power source. He's the one with the deep pockets and the even deeper connections. So next time you cop, remember this, the dude handing you the bag, he's just a point of contact. He's got a battery in his back, and someone else is controlling the current.
It'd be so crazy. It'd be tripping me out. Yeah, it's like, people be thinking, we'll call him King A in his face. You know what I'm saying? That's the person, with power. But we all know that's a circus. What you see Dad said, baby, you want to go out, you want to ride on the lake, a little power boat, or you want to come play with us, in the high finance, the yacht life. Because, 3-4 weeks, I'm on probation, I'm out here. But I ain't going to clarify, how much out of stocks they made, but just know it's comfortable. I'm not going to say it's a lot. I'm not going to say it's, more than what I made. I'm just going to say it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Good deep, let's keep that shit playing. And I ain't even trying to slick talk. I don't even take it that way, sweetheart. I'm just opening your mind and see what's in front of you. Because you say you choose this path. If you're gonna fuck with me, you gotta, or you gotta. spoiling knowledge at all times. You know, this ain't no pretending lifestyle. You know, this lifestyle really exists.
Open your eyes, see past the surface. The real plug? He's still in the shadows, making moves you ain't even aware of. The plug the source runs deep dealer vs plug unveils a conflict, a hierarchy within the shadows. The dealer, a visible intermediary, is distinct from the deeper, more elusive plug. The phrase shadow dude dealer puppet master dealer puppet is a potent revelation. The dealer, seemingly in control, is also a puppet in a larger game, orchestrated by the unseen shadow dude. The core message: look deeper than the hand that deals. The visible actions are distractions. True understanding lies in perceiving the forces that dictate those actions. Since BC, the game always been keep the eyes off us, suggests a timeless strategy of concealment, a deliberate obscuring of the true power brokers. This isn't just about observation. It's about developing a critical, discerning eye. Reverse the psychology. What is being shown is likely a carefully constructed illusion. The truth is layered, requiring intense scrutiny to unravel. Be motivated to question everything presented at face value. This is the path to true knowledge and empowerment, seeing beyond the superficial to the underlying reality. They never see you coming. Think they got the map, the layout, the whole damn game figured. They watch the flashy pieces on the board, the loud ones, the ones throwing their weight around, thinking that's where the power sits. Fools. Power ain't in the shine, it's in the shadow. It's the current you don't feel until it pulls you under.
So what you want to do? If this is too much for you, sweetheart, I'm my bad, D. Wait, what you say? Okay, yeah. Quick, you know what I'm saying? Special that called me, you know, amazing. You amazing too, baby, but soak in everything, you know, that you've been presented with, which is, you know, a real growth is such a thing that you about to immerse yourself in, and, I want you to understand who I am, my angle, you know, how I go about things and stuff like that, you know, but yeah, you know, that's really what's happening, but, you know, I just wanted to stop it real quick. Dedicated specifically to you, but there's going to be an audience that listen to it and stuff like that. Because, you know, I know there's a lot of people like, man, is he really writing those ebooks? You know, is he really that smart? Is he, you know, is it him? Oh, it's me, alright. Yeah, it's me. But yeah, back to soak in this game real quick. Hey, baby.
They dissect the moves they can see, the deals made in the open, the hands laid on the table. They call it strategy, brilliance, but the real game, it's played in the silence, in the spaces between the moves, the whispers in the dark. That's where the unseen hand shapes the outcome. Look at them, all puffed up, thinking they're running things. Dealers, small-timers, puppets dancing on strings they can't even see. They posture, they preen, they take the credit for a game they didn't invent. They're just the noise, the distraction. The real plug, the source, we operate on a different frequency. Forget the fleeting brush of skin, the obvious caress. This is about a deeper infiltration, a silent takeover of your senses where the real pleasure blooms in the unseen. You think you know desire? You've tasted the surface, the predictable rush. But Madhatan Smith, He deals in a different currency, the thrill of knowing you're touched by a power that others can't even fathom.
You hear that quiet voice inside you saying, let me consider, listen to that voice. That's gonna open many doors for you when you're dealing with it. Go back home again. You know what I'm saying? Hey, go back on the book. I just want you to slow it down a little bit. I want you to act on your words. I want you to act. I want you to just string it on. I want you to open your mind up and so that you can get. I want you to really act on this to converse. Let's be deeper in reversing shadows.
He doesn't need to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. His influence vibrates in the very air around you, a subtle hum of control that makes your skin prickle with anticipation. While others fumble with clumsy advances, he orchestrates a symphony of sensation in your mind, a slow burn of awareness that ignites a deeper, more primal yearning. You see the local players, their clumsy attempts at dominance. They crave the visible signs of power, the fleeting ego boost of a momentary conquest. But Madhatan, his mastery lies in its invisibility. He's the architect of desire, shaping your very longings with a subtle hand, a knowing glance across a crowded room, a shared understanding that transcends words. It's in the way he speaks of the unseen forces that govern the world, the intricate dance of wealth and influence that others remain blissfully ignorant of. With each carefully chosen word, he peels back another layer of your perception, revealing a reality where true power lies in the shadows, in the silent transactions that shape destinies. And as your mind expands to grasp the sheer scope of his control, a different kind of wetness pools within you, the intoxicating realization that you are in the presence of a true apex predator. He doesn't need to lay a hand on you to make you tremble. The knowledge of his reach, the understanding of the unseen empires he commands in the digital realm, the flow of currencies, the movement of markets, the subtle manipulation of desire itself, that's his ultimate aphrodisiac. It's a mental ravaging, a delicious surrender to a power that understands your deepest cravings before you even voice them. And in that silent acknowledgement, you are utterly, irrevocably his, every nerve ending humming with a desire that goes far beyond the physical.
So what is your desires? Or what do you want to be your destiny? Deep. Because it's a terrain. You could let go now, or you could dive deeper. But proceed at your own risk. Proceed at your own risk.
Craving to be consumed by the sheer force of his unseen control, you are soaked, not just in body, but in the intoxicating knowledge of his silent dominion. The game ain't played on the surface. That's the first damn truth. They show you the flash, the noise, the supposed kings of the hill. But real power, real finance, real intelligence, it moves in the shadows, quiet as a whisper in a hurricane. You see a dude like Madhatan Smith on the digital streets. Maybe a glimpse, a coded message, a whisper of influence. You think you know the player. You see the profile, maybe the product he pushes. But that's a carefully constructed illusion. That's the decoy. Open your damn minds. The ones who scream, "I'm the plug." 9 times out of 10, they ain't nothing but a middleman with a loudspeaker. They crave the attention, the validation. Real players, We don't need the spotlight to make money. Attention is a liability, a weakness. We move like ghosts. Our fingers tapping the keys. Our networks stretching across continents while they're still counting cash in a back room. High finance ain't about shouting. It's about algorithms, about understanding markets, about seeing patterns others can't even dream of. High intelligence ain't about bravado. It's about strategy, about anticipating moves 3 steps ahead, about building empires in the digital ether where borders don't exist and identities are fluid. And often, the architects of this, they the low-key dudes, the ones you overlook. The tech guys in the corner, the analysts crunching numbers, the strategists whispering in encrypted chats.
When people, they ask me, is you AI? Am I photo intelligence? No. I'm just a nigga that's curating the picture. I don't use AI. I don't really even use it like that. Raw art, real stock photography. I'm using what's already in you and mirroring it back to you. You never even seen me before. So you gotta make a decision. You gotta make a decision that you're gonna play with us or you're gonna keep going to gatherings receiving nothing. On our side, the grass is blue. On their side, the grass is only green. So, you want what's blue or you want what's green? You rather feel amplified? Ain't no man gonna talk to you how I talk to you, so let's get that together and start there. I promise you, you can go the rest of your life and not gonna get the same conversation you're getting right now. In fact, if you could show me better than what I'm presenting you right now, I give you the money and I'll become your student. But right now, I need you to take full advantage of this opportunity. Go ahead and start that back real quick. Go ahead and finish reading up.
Chats. We see the whole damn board, the global flow of capital, the vulnerabilities in the system. We build the platforms, the networks, the pipelines. The flashy dudes, they just the delivery boys. This ain't just a story, it's a revelation. Forget what you see on the surface. Forget the local hype. We're talking about levels, about a stratosphere of wealth and influence that makes your neighborhood dealer look like he's playing with monopoly money. We're talking about the unseen empire of a dude like Madhatan Smith. Forget the touch, the fleeting sensation. This is about a deeper connection, a mental invasion where the lines blur and the real power ignites a different kind of fire. You see the local players, the ones whose touch is immediate, whose presence is loud. They offer a simple transaction, a tangible exchange. But Madhatan Smith, he operates on a different plane, a realm where intellect and influence enter through your mind. He doesn't need to be in the same room. His touch is in the knowledge, the understanding of a world that others can't even perceive. While they chase fleeting physical highs, he's building empires in the digital ether.
I must admit, down you was really sad. Shit. You was bad in the mother. My bad, that just came to my mind. You know what I'm saying? I was, as I was, wish I was. No, I'm really as fly as a turtle dove. Come beside the road. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't even gotta do it physically. You feel me right now, don't you? You feel me? What you gotta do is soak this in.
Wealth multiplying with each silent keystroke, each strategic algorithm. You sense it a pull, a recognition of a power that transcends the physical. It's the allure of true control, the subtle mastery of unseen forces. They offer a temporary buzz. He offers a glimpse into a world where limits don't exist, where transactions happen at the speed of thought across continents. It's a mental seduction, a realization that the game you thought you knew was just a shadow play. And as you begin to grasp the true scale of his operation, the intricate web of his influence in the digital backends, the e-commerce empires, the crypto flows, the unseen algorithms of wealth, a different kind of heat rises within you. It's the recognition of a mind that operates on a higher frequency, a power that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. And in that understanding, you are his. Think about it. You see the corner store, the guy handing out the goods. That's the physical manifestation, the battery in the pack. But Manhattan? He's the digital conglomerate behind 1,000 anonymous storefronts. He ain't worried about street beef. He's strategizing algorithms that move markets. The Bible speaks of physical blindness, but there's a deeper blindness we're addressing here, the inability to see beyond the obvious, to perceive the true sources of power and wealth in this new era. Your local dude might grind, might hustle, might even make